Don't. Boo.
And get your lower third up.
And then
My
get
lower third, my lower third, I don't even have it, so
I
Well,
have a lower
listen,
third.
If you're on an iPad,
you
won't
don't have
get-
it.
Now we just lost Nancy.
Oh.
And Nancy has a computer, and I don't know why she's not on that.
Here she
There
is.
she is.
As
Nancy,
soon as you said let's go,
you better start using the computer for this.
well, I haven't been on the computer since I got it to. That's how crazy things have been.
Oh my God.
Whoa, wow.
Anyway.
So each week I say that same thing to myself. So sooner or later it's bound to happen.
You've got to start using the computer.
I know.
All right, are we ready?
Ready.
We're ready.
Okay, then let's go.
Hello? Are you ready? Yes. Then we'll begin.
Well, if you're watching, looky here. Hail, hail, the gang's all here. We are all back for you. So let's begin Monday Morning Catholic episode number 56.
And the seasons, they go round and the things of holy go up and down. We're captive on the carousel.
And if you all follow us on Facebook, you know why I've used that song. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to another edition of Monday Morning Catholic. I am your host and moderator, Joanne Mercier, and we have a full house today. Praise the Lord, everybody has returned, and we are very happy. So, back from his little mini sabbatical, away from the ladies, is Steve Romano, Director of Music at Our Lady of Mount Carmel Parish in Bristol, Rhode Island. Good morning, Steve. How the heck are you?
Good morning. I'm doing fine. I'm glad you missed me.
You have been missed.
Yes.
Believe me. And he just disappeared if you're watching.
No, gee.
Just disappeared. That's about all we're going to see about Stephen today. Oh, well.
There he is.
Oh, no, he's back.
Back.
Here I am.
Oh, it's going to be one of those shows now that
Yeah.
he's back, isn't it?
I missed all of you, but I watch you every week faithfully. So,
Good. Good. We like that. He told us before on the pre-show that 6:15 in the morning on Monday, we're pretty hard to take at 6:15 in the morning.
I would watch you when I was dicing up all my veggies for my omelets.
Uh-huh.
Is. And of course, we have Nancy Smith from St. Teresa and Christopher Parishes in Tiverton, Rhode Island. Good morning, Nance. How you doing?
I'm good. Good morning, everybody. Morning,
Hi,
Linda.
Nan.
Morning, Stephen.
And maybe one
Good
day
morning.
she'll use the new computer that she got from me instead of the iPad.
And I won't keep disappearing.
Then you won't be disappearing as much. And of course, Linda Reed from St. Thomas's Parish in Providence, Rhode Island. Good morning, Linda. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing quite well, thank you.
I missed you this past weekend.
I know, we missed you too.
I'm sorry to not be there, but I had to work.
Yeah. Funny little thing like that, you know.
Yeah.
Work on a Sunday? Can you imagine?
Can you
Yes,
imagine?
can you imagine that? We all work on
Yikes.
Sundays.
That's all of us.
Yeah, but I had, of course, long weekend, nice skiing weather. My husband went up to Vermont, New Hampshire, and I had to work. So I stayed home.
There you
Nice.
go.
And for those of you who already are on Monday, of course, when we're recording this on Sunday. The game hasn't happened yet.
No.
So we cannot be jumping up and down saying hurrah just yet, but they will win, so I'm not worried.
Okay.
I will go on.
Jinx.
No, I'm not being a jinx. I'm just saying, hey, look, if our weather person this morning could say, and when the Pats win,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
you know, so I ain't the only jinxing person around here.
Confidence. That's
Right,
confidence.
exactly. So if this is Monday, you already all know the score, and whether or not we're all going to be shamed or happy
Yeah.
come the
Right.
next episode. We'll see. But, Stephen, you need to catch us up on what the heck have you been doing? We have missed you terribly.
Well, let's see. Well,
Start from-
first, December, as you know, I also accompany a community chorus. So that was one weekend that was filled up. So we had 2 concerts. We actually had the most attendance that they've had in quite some time, in many years.
Great.
Well,
Great.
We
very
had, I think we had like 1,000 people. believe it or
Wow,
not.
that's great.
great.
And then let's see, the following week. I'm just trying to think. The following week was our colleague Heather. She had her lessons in carols,
Uh-huh.
so I played piano and organ for that. That was very nice. It's always fun to work with other people and see what other people are doing.
Yes, it is.
And the following week we had our staff party for church. Beth and I also went to another colleague of ours, Sheila Zuccarello, who's at Mary of the Bay in Warren. She's doing a fine job.
There, shout out there.
She her choir is all women. They do 2-part,
Wow.
and it really she does a nice job with them.
Great.
And she's only been there maybe a year, not even.
wow.
And I think that the choir will grow because, to be frank, she's showing interest in them. So,
Good.
I think choirs, and I think we should, it's a good thing to bring up. Choirs, I think they suffer when you have years and years of how do I say this the right way? I think when you hire out on a continual basis professional ringers, if you will.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That will shut down a parish choir.
Yeah.
So
it'll shut down anybody wanting to.
right, and
volunteer.
so I told her to keep going and pray that some tenors and basses will join.
So you can do.
That was but that was so. You know what we have. I'm happy to report that we have good music going on in a lot of places. So
Good. That's good to hear
Yeah.
because that's a former stomping ground of mine, and when I was there, I had a full complement. So between
and
then and
so-
now,
it's and then of course we had Christmas and all that good stuff, which went well, and then I had my concert on Epiphany, which happy to say was almost a full church, which was good.
Great.
So
yes, that's very good.
and now I'm kind of coasting. I gave the choir a few weeks off, but we're back at it this coming week. So
Well, I think they deserved it, and so did you.
Yeah.
yeah, we had no rehearsals, but we would just kind of pull together on Sunday morning. So that's what we've been doing.
Well, good. Stephen, it's so we've missed your
I have to say there was one week where you said that you didn't go off the rails once because I wasn't here, and I said, hey, wait a minute.
That's because we knew you were listening, Steve.
Yeah.
We wanted to see if you were listening.
No, I was listening. I listened. I caught up every Monday. I would.
But
listen.
that was a lie because I don't think there's ever been a single one that we've done that we haven't gone off the rails somewhere.
That's
So,
very
but
true.
no, it's nice to be back. So hello, everybody.
Hello, Stephen.
We are
Hello.
very glad to have the entire gang back now, so that we
Oh,
can.
and one more thing before Joanne does her thing. I'll put the word out for all our musicians, all 12 that listen, or the 13, whatever it is.
Oh, please, a baker's dozen, probably.
Yeah. Winter Sing will be coming
Yeah.
up. Yes, we are having a Winter Sing,
Yep.
March 1st,
Yeah.
Sunday, March 1st,
March
at
1st.
St. Jude's in Lincoln.
Good. So that's Lincoln, Rhode Island, folks.
Lincoln, Rhode Island,
Yeah.
and check your emails because I think those flyers were going out imminently, and
Sooner.
imminently, if not sooner. And
Yeah.
and we thank Nancy once again. She's our faithful flyer publisher.
Our go-to girl.
So we thank Nancy for getting, she has the template and she does what needs to be done. So thank you.
And just in case, Stephen, people don't know what the heck you're talking about, this
Yes,
is our
it's-
local chapter's annual event which we call Winter Sing. It's the National Pastoral Musicians Providence chapter. It's our kind of central event of the year. And that's
This is
Winter
what, year
Sing.
13 or maybe?
Yeah, I
Year
think.
13? Yeah,
13.
yeah.
Yeah, because I was
13.
doing some planning for the evening prayer, and I got last year's, and it was 12.
Okay, so 13. Yeah.
Lucky 13 then.
Yes.
Okay, cool. But I think we have some other things coming up this year too. We'll talk about later.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, because we do have some other stuff coming up that I do remember the last time I heard. So, but that one is our most imminent. It's March 1st. If you're in the area, and if you want more information, you can always contact us at mondaymorningcatholic@gmail.com. We'll send you if you're out of the area and out of our mailing list area. But if you want to come over and see it, perfectly
Because
fine. They'll take everybody.
we have welcomed I think some folks from Taunton,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
at
Diocese.
North
Attleboro.
Attleboro. So
Attleboro.
we're kind of like in the, what do we call it? The southeastern Rhode Island and southeastern
Southeast New England.
Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Yeah, New England. Yeah. So,
And for folks who don't know, that it almost encompasses 4 dioceses
Yeah.
yes.
because you've got Worcester and Boston to the north, Fall River to the east, and then Providence. We don't get anybody from Connecticut, do we?
Not
No.
usually.
No.
Norwich is the closest they keep to themselves.
And this is it's evening prayer, a dinner, and you get a packet of music, and we read through it.
Oh, and people
All
love
for
packets of music.
All for $20.
All for $20, man.
Wow, such a deal.
Such a deal. Yeah.
Cool.
So
Well,
come all.
that was our shameless plug number 1
Yes.
for Winter Sing. But we are here, and all of us are back so that we can take a look at the previous weekend's liturgies and try to make some sense of it all. We are back in ordinary time, and that's the reason why I played Joni Mitchell's The Circle game, because Linda put it up on her Facebook page this morning. And,
Yep.
you know, as you know, now we're back, come around to ordinary time. And so I couldn't resist. I had the song.
Yeah.
I didn't even have to
That's
buy
great.
that one. I
That's
had that.
great.
So I surprised her with that.
Yeah.
Good thing I had everybody on mute because I saw her laughing like hysterically. So we're going to take a look at the liturgies. We're also going to take a look at, and in no particular order, rituals, church music, technology, evangelization, Catholics in the news, and pop culture, and anything else we fancy at this time. Apparently, Linda has a side-splitting story for us, but you're going to have to wait till the end to hear that. So grab your favorite cup of whatever. Unfortunately, mine's working. I just had lunch. So I know, talking about morning, and I just had lunch.
Actually, mine's nothing.
But sit back, relax, and I love to say this, we finally have voice feedback.
Woohoo!
Yes, we do. So we're going to go to your side of the world. And we're not going too far from here. We're going to Buffalo, New York,
Ah.
that we can hear from Tiffany. And Tiffany has given us permission, and I will tell you that at the very end, she must have, I have no idea with Google Voice how long it allows you to record. It cut her off.
Okay.
So she said she wasn't being rude, it just cut her off. So here's Tiffany's feedback.
Hi, everybody at Monday Morning Catholic. This is Tiffany from Buffalo, and feel free to use this on the show. This is actually the first time I've ever left voice feedback. I've written emails before, but I do enjoy hearing voice feedback from others when I listen to podcasts. And so although I don't enjoy hearing my own voice, I do like hearing the voices of others, and I thought that I should do my part and contribute. So really quickly, I wanted to leave a little feedback on the Feast of the Baptism of the Lord. And my husband and I got married 10 years ago, actually, in 2005, right before the Feast of the Baptism of the Lord. So our anniversary always falls right before that feast. And this year, since it was a milestone, we went away for a weekend trip and we drove north to Niagara-on-the-Lake, Ontario, Canada. And while we were there, we attended Mass, the Vigil Mass, actually, at the local parish there. And the priest gave what I thought was a very interesting but short homily relating to the feast. And what he said was that he encouraged us to think about our own baptisms and how that was one of the most important days of our lives. And we tend to forget about it, especially if we were baptized as infants. But what we could do now as adults is think about how, as an adult Catholic, relating back to our baptism, what are we doing, in the terminology he used, is in our career as Catholic, which I thought was interesting because that's a term we usually hear in a secular context. Usually as Catholics we talk about vocations or ministries or something like that. He used the word career. He said it many times. So what can we do in our career as a Catholic to enhance our own spiritual lives and the lives of our community? And so he talked about some ways you can get involved in the parish and try to benefit yourself and to become more involved in the church and in your faith, and how that will enrich your own life and the lives of others. And so I just thought that was kind of an interesting take. What can we do in our career as a Catholic to make it better, not only for ourselves, but for our family and our community? And so he related that back to the feast, and I thought that was very interesting. So I wanted to pass that on. We had a really nice time in Niagara-on-the-Lake. It was very cold there, and I'm from Buffalo, so keeping it in its proper perspective, we're used to cold, and this was cold. We're used to. And I noticed in the parish that they use, this was in Canada, they use a different translation. I don't know what it was, but it was different than the New American Bible, I guess, that we're used to in the U.S. So I did a little missal that I picked up in the pew that was smaller, not a missalette style, but kind of a fatter missal that I enjoyed. Page and Pew had some meditations written by for each of the Sundays. It was really nice. So we had a really nice time at the Mass, something different. So hope that you all had a very nice week. Looking forward to the podcast.
And then we lost her.
Oh boy.
But that was nice.
Well, she sounds very nice.
Yes, she does. And see, I love to be able to hear our listeners. It's nice to hear them speak every once in a while. Thank you, Tiffany. Yeah, I had never heard career as, our career as Catholics, but I guess that might tweak people a little bit to understand that it is something that goes on for a very long time. I think people just think they become Catholic and that's it, and they don't do it. If you put it in the context of being a career, now that opens up a whole nother possibility.
Yeah. It's
Really?
also the mentality of where we are in our society as well. If we're more tuned to our jobs and that type of thing as our career, to look at how we live as Catholics is also part of our career.
Yes.
Is neat to me. Thank you, Tiffany. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about that. I was trying to get.
And let me say to Tiffany, I was in Buffalo last year. I'll never forget it.
You don't want to know, Tiffany.
Matter of fact, Tiffany, next time I blow through, I'll give you a call. I'll stay at your house when I can't navigate the lake effect snow.
Oh, yes, and they've been getting a lot of lake effect snow.
Holy smokes!
Tiffany, he didn't pass through. He got stuck.
I got stuck. Yeah.
That's the real story. But this was on your way to and from Ohio, correct?
Oh my God, was that something? Yeah.
Yeah. That is.
I really will never complain about the snow we get here because it's really nothing. It's really not compared to
Buffalo.
And I grew up in Cleveland, so I understand exactly.
Yeah. So.
I wonder what the
Tiffany.
snow in Vermont's going to be like. 'Cause there's a lake there too, isn't it? Not one of the Great Lakes, but.
There's
Is
lakes
there?
up there, but I don't know if there's anything big enough to affect the
Champlain.
entire. I'm not saying that there isn't an effect, but I'm just saying you've got the whole northern coast of Ohio is what I'll talk about, is the lake.
Lake Superior.
So you get exactly Lake
It's
Erie.
Lake Erie. Yeah.
And what comes over Buffalo, I think you've got a whole lot of the lakes just shuffling their 2 cents in.
Shuffling off to Buffalo.
Yeah.
Shuffling off to Buffalo. I didn't mean it that way, Tiffany. Truly, I didn't. But
Yeah,
who
you did.
said
It came out.
Yeah, but it did. Now, Tiffany also talked about the translation.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
Canada uses the NRSV translation, or which would probably now be the RSV. What is it? The Revised Standard
Revised
Version,
Standard Version.
New Edition, something like that, because they have a new no, I still think it's the NRSV.
Yeah, the N would stand for new.
Right. Where we use the NABRE.
Yeah.
Okay, which is the New American Bible Revised Edition. That's where I was trying to get at. I know one of them has the letter before, the other one has two letters after. So they do use a different translation of Scripture than we do. And yeah, you can tell the difference, especially if depending on what you use as a Bible at home. You know, if you're using an NRSV, a New Revised Standard Version, and then you go to church, yes, you already know that it's different. But if you're using one and you go to another church, like all of America uses the New American Bible, whether it's the Revised Edition or not. Okay. Canada uses, I believe, either or. I don't think it's just the New Revised Standard Version.
But as far as the Roman Missal, though, Joanne, we're on the same, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We can we're on the same. I think the bishops' conferences are allowed to decide what translation of the Bible they want to use.
Okay.
Usually the English-speaking countries you can use these.
Okay.
They'll give them a list of what they can and can't use. One time, I think Canada was using Jerusalem Bible. I know France was at one time too. So, but now it's.
But that affects the lectionaries, not the sacramentary or the Roman Missal.
And I understood what she was saying, that she said the translation was different.
Yeah.
And I think she meant the Scripture and not
Roman
Missal. So that's why I took the aside and said, okay, let's explain that. So I'm a little early for the right stuff, but I did it. So
that's okay. We got it.
But we thank Tiffany for sharing that.
And being our very first.
Yes. I probably have a wonderful prize, fantastic prize I could send to her for being the first.
The very first.
Because I do have a couple of things I need to give away. I was given a few things by my pastor.
Run, Socks, run.
Run, Socks, run.
That's her dog, folks. I'm being fresh.
Yeah, those of you who can see this, over my left shoulder, you can see this little lump of red fur laying down, and that's my dog's socks. As in Red Sox, thank you. Okay? But my pastor gave me some pocket Gospels.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
Apostles to give away. So, Tiffany, if you can send me an address and you don't have this, I'd be happy to send you this. And I have a couple more copies that we can do something with and give them away to folks. This is what I guess Pope Francis has asked us to pass along to people. You know, so if you don't if you don't think you're going to use it for you, have it and pass it along to somebody else. That's what I'm trying to do. So let me know, Tiffany. Send me an address to mondaymorningcatholic@gmail.com, and the rest of you could probably want to send some feedback to that as well, or you can use the comment boxes at mondaymorningcatholic.net under each one of our different episodes. You can always go to the Facebook page, and the Facebook page has been very active lately, facebook.com/mondaymorningcatholic. Or you can do what Tiffany did. If I can find where's my lovely little, and I can't see it. I hate it when I can't see it. And I honestly can't see it. Seriously. It's not there. I hate it when that happens. There it is.
Would you like me to sing it for you?
That's what happens when I take my bank of sounds and change them into a more logical order. And I'm sticking for the old place.
Wasn't so logical.
Wasn't so logical. Forget that idea very much. So you can give us a call at the voice feedback line, 774-955-0659, and we can hear your side. You can be the last word on last week's word.
Yeah.
All right, let's move right along to.
Do you hear what I hear?
what we're all here for. Do you hear what I hear? For the second Sunday in Ordinary Time. Wow. And it's only going to be 5 weeks long this year.
Yeah.
Next year it'll be 4 weeks long.
Yeah.
I'm already working on next year's stuff, so I saw it and I went, oh, Easter's too early next year.
Really? There's only 4 Sundays next year of Ordinary Time?
Easter is the 27th of March in 2000.
I'm going to call in sick.
Start planning now.
Yeah, start your planning now, folks.
Yeah.
You
That's
know,
right.
now. All right, we love to do that. But we all probably heard the same readings today, barring anything else, although I did have the Knights of Columbus show up at my place, and there was no bishop. I'll explain that later.
Okay.
But we have some very different homily interpretations here. So let's look at the readings that we did here this past weekend. We heard 1 Samuel 3, which is, of course, the calling, hearing the call of the Lord. Sometimes we don't think it's him.
Yeah.
Sometimes we think it's indigestion. But sometimes we don't think it's him. I know. I got a little sad there. Sorry.
Oh.
I know. Watch it. Yeah, I got to be careful. But I do have to make this point while we're on this one, is that one of our colleagues on the NPM Facebook page, because Catholic musicians do post on a few different things, said something about that he had to put out to his diocese not to use "Here I Am, Lord" as the psalm.
Yes.
He was very.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that.
But he was very encouraged when most of them said they weren't using it.
Yes.
So that's a very good thing. Yes, it's very tempting because everybody knows
People have to
the
refrain.
song.
Yeah.
Right.
I used it, but not as a psalm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard it this
Exactly.
morning too, but not as the song.
Everybody used it this morning because
I
it
think
was
so.
like the quintessential song of the first reading there.
Yes, it is.
I've heard you calling in the night,
Yep. And there's 1 Samuel 3 in a nutshell.
Yes.
Of course, Psalm 40 is the response is, "Here I am, Lord, I come to do your will."
Yes.
So it's actually our response.
Exactly.
And what did we all do today? What versions did we?
I did the Rory Cooney version.
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah, it really is. And you know what? It's musically speaking, I'm going to get a little technical. Like the intervals in the refrain are a little tricky, but the people sang it just fine. So
he writes very accessible stuff, and it's not easy, which is good because it's not like it's simple for them to sing, but it's like one step up of respond and acclaim.
Yeah.
What did you do?
We used Solite.
Then see how
that was really nice. It had a nice little melodic refrain with a double sort of echo, double descant. It was really nice. So you heard "Here I am, here I am, here I am."
Oh, like echo.
Yeah. It was very nice, and it chanted verse.
Oh, nice. And Nancy?
I
Hello.
was just said, but that's okay. I used the common psalm, seasonal psalm. Lord, you have the words.
Oh yeah.
So you're using Psalm 19 then?
Yeah.
Seasonal.
All right, so you're using a seasonal psalm. All right, because I'm putting all these things down for some people who have asked, can you let me know what we're doing for psalms? And I'm very happy to share that.
I was in planning. I was going to use Psalm 27 for Ordinary Time, for a few weeks. But then, like Linda has mentioned this. When I went through each Sunday, I've noticed we know nice settings for each of the psalms, the appointed psalms.
Yeah.
So
you might as well take advantage of it.
Right, and so up until Lent, we'll use the one that goes with each Sunday. So.
Right. Yeah, sometimes Ordinary Time works out like that. Other times, not so much.
Not so much, yeah.
So, and this is year B, which means it's the 5 weeks of Taste and See.
That's in the summertime, right?
Come the summer.
Yep, come the summer, you've got the 5 weeks of Taste and See.
Right.
So, I still remember those things.
It's hard to forget them.
Excuse me?
It's hard to forget them.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
What's it called? The Bread of Life Discourse,
yes,
right?
The Bread of Life
Discourse.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. 1 Corinthians was the second reading, and this was interesting. Do you not know that your bodies are members of Christ? The whole thing about the body is not meant for immorality.
Immorality, yeah.
Not immortality.
Yes.
Immorality.
And we have to be careful when they say the body is for, and
Yes.
forget not, because I've heard that happen. But
I know it.
no mishaps this weekend. Didn't hear any,
No,
lucky
same.
mishaps with that.
Yeah.
No.
That was a good thing. But that's where my pastor, and I'll go more into it, kind of clicked in for our family liturgy, because we had our event liturgy, and we just did a whole segment on the infamous child safety that we have every year. So this is where we clued in a little bit. So that was a good thing. And then John 1, back to John 1 again, a little further down in the chapter, the call of the first disciples, where basically Jesus says, "Come and see."
Yeah.
And that's the big RCIA. I know when I was doing RCIA, that's always what I would use, where Jesus just, "Where are you going, Rabbi?" "Well, come and see." That was the way he called. He wasn't, he was just kind of being nonchalant about it. You want to find out, then follow.
Come, yeah.
So those were the readings for this week, and there are 5 different homilies to choose from, all short. Well, maybe 4 short and a long, but I don't know what that is in telegraphing, but
Or short and long, yeah.
4 short and a long. So who wants to go first? Should we
Want
let
me to go?
Stephen go first?
I'll go.
Yeah, let Stephen go first because he hasn't been here.
Yeah.
Go right ahead, Stephen.
All right, great. So our pastor, Father Zeno, and actually speaking about the appointed psalm for today, I'm happy that I went with it because he actually picked it up in his homily.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
That hardly ever happens.
No, it's true, and that's it's interesting how things happen like that.
Yeah.
So so his homily started with the question. In his mind, all the readings today ask the question, what is the meaning of life?
Oh, geez.
Nothing too
Nothing too heavy.
intense.
And Stephen disappeared.
Oh, gee.
Well, that's
There
the
he is.
meaning of life, right?
Here I am.
Yeah,
Here I am.
here I am.
What's the meaning of life? And Stephen just disappeared.
Here I am.
Okay.
I am.
Yeah.
Go Quincy.
And yeah.
All right, let's
And then-
rewind.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's start again, Stephen. Go ahead.
Okay.
right, so
Tell
so
us the
he-
meaning of life.
Yeah, so he posed the question, what is the meaning of life? And he talked about, and he brings a good point. I mean, today's readings were really rich, and they have a lot of good content in them. Oh, and that's my cat saying hello, by the way. So,
Hi,
Hello,
Sebastian.
Sebastian.
Oh, Sebastian.
he's old, he's crotchety, like he has arthritis. Sorry, he's just gonna sing. So,
Okay.
so he kind of set up the. He said, what what is the meaning of life, and also the question, turn around, what are we looking for? And so he said, basically what Jesus was looking for when he set out on his way was, looking for his disciples, and of course here comes John the Baptist, and John the Baptist says, oh look, there's Jesus, behold the Messiah, behold the Lamb of God, and he said, and immediately when Jesus comes upon the other disciples, he asked them the question, what is it that you're looking for? And their interesting answer obviously was, Jesus, where are you staying? In other words, let's hang out together, if you will, and then he said, so the tables turn, and so Jesus, he invites them to be the companions on the journey, that catchphrase. So he said, you know, being companions on the journey with Jesus, and the meaning of life is, the whole point is having a working relationship with God, and it not some lofty theological concept or doctrinal type thing. He said, but it's, you know, a personal relationship that's lived out. And then he kind of brought in what Pope Francis has been saying the past couple of years.
Mm.
Same thing, you know, living out your faith, not the book stuff, which is important, but, you know, living it out. And he said, God is willing. Are we willing? It should be a high priority. And then he kind of went back and talked about having the personal relationship with Jesus, and then he jumped back to the first reading with Samuel. He said, you know, Samuel thought it was Eli that was talking to him. You know, his friend was talking to him. He said, but in reality, it was his friend, but it was his friend. It was God that was talking to him. And he said, so there's that closeness of the friendship there. And then I'm trying to read my notes because there's something I jotted them down quick.
And this is what happens when that's why I record anymore, because I can't remember.
Oh, and he said about the gospel, you know how Jesus renames his disciples?
Yes.
He said, think about it. He goes, how many close friends do we have that we have nicknames for them?
Ah, very good point.
He said so in, you know, like in effect, when he said to Peter, you know, you're the rock, he said he was calling him Rocky.
Yeah.
Oh no!
So,
and I don't have
you know,
that sound with me.
Yeah. So you know, he said, you know, and some nicknames we have for friends I can't repeat on the pulpit. He said, but most of them we can.
Whoa!
But he said, you know, basically, that just showed the tight knit friendships they had. That Jesus said, okay, if you're going to be my friends, I have some new names for you that I'm going to call you.
Interesting.
Yeah, that was that was his homily. I'm sorry if it was kind of disjointed, but my notes are all over the place. Oh, and there were
first week back. Don't worry.
Yeah, and there were he brought up 3 things that will bring us into a friendship with Jesus. 1, develop a prayer life, and obviously that starts with the Eucharist. 2, we build our lives around the sacraments, including, you know, confession and everything. He said, you know, when you mess up, you just start all over again.
Mm-hmm.
And the third one is we make God's will our own. And that's when he talked about, you know, he said, oh, and that beautiful psalm setting we had that we sang.
And good thing you did it.
Yeah, right. And then he said that right there brought it to life. He said, so those 3 points.
Oh, cool.
And then the other homily I had was, again, sort of centered on friendship. You know, he said there's 4 different kinds of ways to know people. 1, it's your relative.
Mm-hmm.
2, it's an acquaintance. 3, it's a friend. And 4, it's a spouse. And obviously, hopefully, your spouse will know you the best. But he said the interesting part is the more that you know someone, the less important the facts about that person are. It's the core of the person that becomes important.
Mm-hmm.
He said, so how do we know God, as a historical figure or as a personal friend and companion on the journey? Another catchphrase. There we go.
Did anyone sing Companions on the Journey?
No.
I did not sing that. I've never sung Companions on the Journey.
Just ask.
Yeah. And he said, you know, Jesus as the Lamb of God, as was revealed today, the Lamb of God, he's our beloved Redeemer. And how do we get to know him? The first thing we have to do is what does it say? Come and see. Sit down and pray. So that was his take on things.
Nice.
All right.
Nice.
And yes, we also did sing "Here I Am, Lord" as well.
Of course.
but not as the psalm.
Not as the
So-
song, no.
Okay. Okay, good. Nancy, you want to go next? We'll go
Sure.
across the bottom here.
Sure. Father talked about, he started by letting everybody know that this Thursday is the Right to Life.
Yep, we heard about that too.
42nd anniversary, I believe, Roe versus Wade. And so his talk was pretty much a pro-life, right to life homily. He was spinning a little bit of readings in there. And his examples to get his point across were about the importance of life. Certainly, we all know what the importance of life is to all of us, but sometimes people just don't understand. But anyway, he says, standing here, he says, by the time we finish and by the time we leave, he says, about 146 ends of innocent lives will come to be. And he kind of put us all in our place with a couple of stats like that. But he talked about, he says, as a child, he says, when my mother got to the point that she was kind of had it with me, she says to her husband, she says, he needs to go out, take him out for a while. So my dad would take me into town. And we had this little Ford Fiesta, he says, and he says, we're parking in the town, he says, and there's Mercedes-Benz and Beamers, and he says, I asked my dad when we got out, he says, how come we don't have a car like that? A sweet car like that is how he kept talking about. And he got everybody's attention on this when he says, because your mother and I have you and your sisters, so we have a Ford Fiesta.
Jeez.
That's so true.
And basically, it is an economic fact piece. But he
Right.
continued and said that the lives of their children were so much more important and vital and loving to them, and the creation of a family and anything else you want to put in, however you want to phrase that. He said that was what his dad was telling him, that how important he was as a person, how important he was as a member of the family, type of thing. So that was an example of life. But then he also said, he said, I met with a lady one time, he said, and I don't know what the meeting was for, certainly. He didn't express that. But he said, I looked at the unfilled blanks in the information she gave and said that, well, you haven't filled the information out about your child. And she said, because I don't know who the father was. She said, I was raped.
Oh.
But the message from this little story was, even in the most desperate of times, the sanctity of life was uppermost. And how courageous this woman was to be an example of that to all of us. And he said, you look at what God tells us, he said, he is the way to follow, he is the truth to know, and he is our life. He says that we all enjoy, should have the right to our life that God gives us. And it was a very splendid homily.
Nice. He went the bent of the right to life.
Right to life.
Yes.
Okay. All right, because I was wondering how many would go that route. And that's fine. It's a very worthy and timely piece.
Absolutely. And the readings, I think, gave him an opening to do that, to talk about family and that type of thing. And we do have folks going to the march in Washington. So, got a chance to pull that in.
Cool.
And it's a message we need to hear. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we do. Some of my guys are going too.
Yeah, we have 11 going from the collaborative.
Yeah.
So we're kind of pleased with that. Every year I've always said I've wanted to go, and every year there's always been something that has stopped me or made me say I can't take the time. I mean, I'm starting a class on Tuesday, and I think people are leaving either Tuesday or Wednesday, and I was like, I can't go again. One of these days I will get.
One of my tenors is going.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Your son?
No, not my son.
Oh, okay. Well, it would stand to reason because your
He's
son's
got to
in
teach.
Catholic school.
Yeah,
And the Catholic schools usually go.
Yeah.
So that's
it would, but he's got to teach, and his Catholic school is not going. So.
Yeah, I don't know that from my parish anybody is going. I'm not sure. So.
But one of my other tenors is going.
Oh, cool. All right. So since Nancy, was that all you had on yours?
That's what I got.
Then
Very nice.
we'll move over to Linda so I can hear what I missed this morning.
You can hear what Father John had to say this morning.
Yes.
He took the tack of "come and see." That was his catchphrase, so to speak. He started out by saying that it was interesting to him that in this year of we've been especially asked to pray for vocations to the religious life, especially that we have these readings today to look at. He said both in the book of Samuel and in the Gospel, we have people that are called by God, and in both cases, they need assistance to know that they are being called by God. And he talked about Samuel and Eli. That Samuel had no clue. Eli was probably figuring Samuel was having nightmares and kept sending him back to bed. Go to bed, go to bed. And until Eli finally lost Nancy. Until Eli.
No, those two in the middle.
I'm here.
Those two in the middle have been playing musical chairs and going out and in and out at the same time. So
Can you hear me?
Until Eli decided, or it dawned on Eli finally, that this was the Lord calling Samuel, and he passed that along. In the Gospel, John the Baptist, who had disciples of his own, pointed out to his own disciples that this is the Lamb of God. This is the one that they should be following, which, of course, is sort of true to John the Baptist all the way through. I must decrease, and he must increase.
Mm-hmm.
And so he points his own disciples in that direction. And he said, disciples immediately went and followed him, and Jesus said, "Come, and you will see." And he said, we know that for the next 3 years, they saw many things. They saw healings, they saw raising from the dead, they saw the Pharisees challenged, and all kinds of things, even to the death of their Messiah. So he went on to tell a personal story about his own call, and he said when he realized he was being called to the priesthood, or when he thought he was being called to the priesthood, he went on a retreat, diocesan retreat, and he said everybody had to talk about why they were there. And he said, I got up and said, I went to church all the time. I'm so active in my parish and in the CYO Center, and every Holy Thursday I would go to church and pray for a sign. He said, and the sign that I was specifically looking for was, John, I want you to be a priest coming from the mouth of God.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. And he said, and it never happened. He said, and I found that very frustrating. And he said, one of the other retreatants said to me, has anybody ever asked you if you thought about the priesthood, or maybe you should think about the priesthood, or be? And Father John said, oh yeah, lots of times. And the guy said, well, perhaps God was using them to call you.
Isn't that like the old joke where, you know, guys drowning and
yeah, the boat's
God
going by. Yes.
Boat goes by, helicopter goes by.
He says, I sent a boat and a helicopter.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, he said, maybe God is calling you through the mouths of other people.
Exactly.
And he said, boom, I needed to hear that. He said, and I needed other people to help me understand that I was being called by God. And so he kind of finished up with, you know, in this year of praying for vocations, let us make a special effort to help these people recognize that they are being called by God, and pray for them.
Cool. That
was
was
very nice.
You know, I've gotten so used to hearing his homilies.
Yeah.
It's
It was
kinda
very
nice.
nice.
Good. And I'll briefly go because you knew this was going to happen this week, where we're going to start pushing the time limit.
Yeah, okay.
And my boss, pastor at the Cranberry Collaborative at Saints Martha and Mary today, since we had our event mass for every celebration of Generations of Faith. There's an event that it ties to. I think I've said that a few times already, but this one tied into this weekend very, very well. So I had it moved to this weekend for us because I just felt that since we were talking about child safety, it would make more sense and being safe in God's care. You know, that our bodies are for good, and that we are all members of the body of Christ. And so I said, okay, go along those lines. And he is hysterical when he starts out with stuff. And he said, he said, I can understand how Samuel felt because, he's sitting there in bed, somebody's calling him. He said, I've been afraid a couple of times in my life too. He said, but but I'm never afraid here. He said, because outside of you have to know where the rectory and the church are right next to each other. Across the street is a pond. Okay, so it's all water, and then on our side is all land. So the Lakeville police love to park right in our driveway at night, to catch all the lovely people going down the street.
Yeah, the speed trap.
Yeah.
Exactly. We are the speed trap. So, but my boss thinks that that's a wonderful, he feels very safe because they're, outside sitting there. But then he connected, he did a decent job of connecting the different themes. And I know it's kind of hard when you're taking, like what happened in Tyranny, you either go whole hog into one, which would be pro-life, or you're trying to take the scriptures of the day and you're trying to fit it in with the family theme so that they know why they're there in the first place and how it all connects. So he did a really nice job with trying to make all of that connect and how these disciples were called and upon the rock. He also used the translation of upon the rock Jesus would build the church. So of course he had to change Peter's name to reflect that. So it was, believe me, I have it on. I almost was going to play it, but I knew we were running into it. So it's like I said, when we do these things and we do them 6 times a year. The next one for our February one, it will connect to Ash Wednesday. We're talking about Lent, so we'll do it on Ash Wednesday. That way, the Sundays of Lent will be the proper readings and the proper homilies to that. So it's kind of different when you kind of have to craft it. Some guys are great at it, and my guy is, but I don't want to. I've heard so many good things. It's like you all hit the mark.
Yeah.
Not that he didn't. He'll kill me. But
No, that's good. That's
that
good.
he didn't, but I'd rather you guys go with it because we have to squeeze about 10 minutes into 5 right now. So
Okay.
let's move along to
Can you hear me now? Fly back to you.
our lovely technology section for a moment. Only because we put something up on our Facebook page this week. 5 iOS 8 tips. Our friend the Bishop Christopher Coyne, put those up there on our Monday Morning Catholic. Well, he put them up and I borrowed them, like I borrowed his other picture.
Yeah.
You have to go to
So cute.
Yeah, I know. You have to go to, and if you go to his Facebook page, he actually, and this is a true story, his aunt, when he became a bishop, had a zucchetta made. Now the zucchetta is the little yarmulke-looking thing that sits on the head, and she had it embroidered New England Patriot.
I've
That's
got a big
funny.
kick out of that.
Yes. So, yeah, he's a big Pats fan. So
Yeah.
let's just and believe me, his exile to Colts land has
Ooh.
ended. So he's very pleased to be back in the fold in Patriot Nation. But he put up a this video from Molly Wood, who writes for the New York Times. That's her real name, Molly Wood. Okay, I'm not kidding. It's Molly Wood. And it's 5 hidden features of the iOS 8 operating system. I knew 3 of them.
Mm.
2 of them I did not know. But these are just little things, if you own an iPhone or an iPad, that can make your experience just a little bit better. But I won't say the dreaded 2 words on air, because I will then set off some people's iPhones if they happen to be hearing.
Oh.
And if you want to know about it, go to our Facebook page and click on the link that I gave for this article, and you'll understand what that is. But every time one of my tech shows uses that phrase,
Yeah.
my iPhone goes off. And there's another phrase you can use for
Oh,
people
no.
with Google. There's another phrase you can use for people with Google. And if their Google devices are on, theirs go off. So I refuse to use it.
Okay.
That's
So,
odd.
We'll have to go read.
well,
Are
you
you
know
sure
what
you
it
haven't
is.
been using it? That's why Stephen and I have been going on and off, on and off.
Maybe that's no. I haven't even said the 2 words. You know, one of them has to do with horses eat, and
Yes.
the other one is the name of the the operating system that we
Yeah.
have in our little computerized person. If you put those 2 together, it just sets it off every single time. And Google has the same issue. It's just because it hears it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Catchphrase, it will do what it's supposed to do. Smart
Yeah.
thing, but you're driving down the road and you're listening to a podcast and it says, and all of a sudden
Yeah.
it's like, oh, come on. So check that out for all
Yeah,
of
and I have my
iPhone-
iPad right here, so.
Yep, for all you iPhone and iPad users, it's 5 really good tips that'll make your experience a little bit better. So that was real quick. Now let's move into What's the Buzz? And there's been a lot of buzz this week for Catholics in the news and pop culture because the Pope has been visiting the Philippines and Sri Lanka. I'll tell you, when he got to the Philippines with the rock star cardinal that they have there, Cardinal Tagal, oh, that man is a stitch.
Eh.
And another user of technology and the new evangelization. He has a weekly show, 37 minutes long, that he does on the readings of the week. And Catholic TV runs it on their station, but you can also get it online. So I will make sure that I will put a link to it. I was going to show a little bit, but we're running out of time. But he is a super rock star and a super nice, he was one of the dark horses in the last conclave, and he's still very young. So I'm impressed with what he does and how he said to the Pope, "You must come to the Philippines," and the Pope said, "Sure." So
I saw they did a snippet last night of the Pope wearing the poncho because it was monsoon.
Yeah.
I love it.
And I heard the story behind that because I was listening to Catholic radio, Sirius Satellite, Catholic channel, and they were reporting that they wanted him to say Mass inside on Saturday so that he wouldn't get wet, and then they would show it outside, and he said absolutely not.
Yeah.
Give me a poncho. Well, we don't have one for you. Give me one of those. So he's the first pope in history to ever wear a poncho on top of his vestments.
And I also saw somebody posted a picture, like a selfie picture of him, and it might have been the I don't know who it was, but
that was
with
me.
With the hand gesture, that was pretty funny.
Yeah, the I love you in sign language.
Yeah.
That is that's the cover shot on Monday Morning Catholic right now. That is Cardinal Tagal and the Pope.
Okay.
So, I mean, he is Cardinal Tagal. I'm very impressed with Cardinal Tagal, and I do watch his program when I get a chance. But he sits in a red chair against a white backdrop.
Wow.
And they will highlight sometimes the scripture that he's talking about or concepts that he's saying. He really knows how to use media.
Mm,
And I think that is, again, to his credit.
nice.
They need to use every available medium that they can to get the message out. Because you may think everybody knows about Jesus Christ, and they probably know who he is, but they don't know Jesus Christ. And that's what the new evangelization is all about. It's calling us to that, to get to a deeper relationship.
Good for him.
So I give him a lot of credit. And the Pope, I did not see anything from the Sunday Mass yet, because I would like to see because they were expecting another tropical storm
Oh, jeez.
to hit Manila.
Oh, man.
And the Pope was sticking around for it. And they were going to have 6 million people
Yeah.
at that Mass.
Jeez.
That's
Talk about a big collection, huh?
Yeah.
you know, and while he was there, he announced that he announced he was going to canonize Unipersera
Yeah.
when he comes here.
Yeah.
Now. So that means he's going to California. He's going to have to make a trip to California to do that, because Unipersera is big in California.
Oh, yeah.
Not just amongst the Catholics. He's one of the founders of the state. You know, he's one of the first people that went into that territory. So they hold him in high esteem in California. So this is going to be very, very, the Pope goes to Hollywood. Now this
Right.
could be very interesting indeed. I am looking forward to that. I just want to get my tickets for Philly so I can go to Philly and see the Pope.
Really.
I really do. But if somebody would put something together, can we
Yeah.
somebody put a trip together? I'm there.
Let's rent a van. And
Rent a van. We've done that before.
I know. I was there.
And I don't see Stephen jumping to say, yes, we will rent a van and do this. Monday
Stephen and
Morning
I have
Catholic.
done it before.
Only if it's not in Buffalo in January.
There you go. There you go. Because you know. Yes. So anyway, I had a few other things in What's the Buzz, but I will wait till next week. And it can wait because there's a couple of things coming up for Lent.
Oh, yeah.
So I will go there. So let's finish off with. Linda has a little story to tell us. So, Linda's funny story.
It's
Go
just
for
me embarrassing myself again.
And so this is, what?
It falls to me to make announcements about the collections. So when there's
you know what, Linda, I can sympathize because I do that too.
Yeah, well, it falls to me, and so when there's 2 collections, I have to say, the second collection this morning is for our food pantry, blah, blah, blah. Well, today we had 1 collection, but there were 2 envelopes, and one of them was for Catholic University.
Oh,
So Father John says to me, just tell him to put both envelopes in the same collection.
Right.
Yeah. So I get up there at the last Mass, and I don't know what I was thinking, but I got up and said, everybody, there's only 1 collection this morning, so put everything you have in the one. And everybody starts laughing. And the pastor's face lit up. And he said, yeah!
Oh, wow.
Yes, he said, that's not a bad idea.
And I have to say, that Linda, that's priceless. I love that.
That is priceless.
I don't know what I was thinking.
Oh, my.
I saw a lady in the front row, and she had at least 3 envelopes held together with a so I thought, well, maybe people have more than 1 envelope, so I'll just tell them to put everything in the one.
And then you saw the rings coming off. And
Yes, the rings, the watches.
Yes.
Oh, Lord.
The shoes. Yeah.
Embarrassing myself again.
Oh, that, and I missed it.
Yeah.
Darn.
And actually, at our church, funny story, Father Zeno has introduced that we're entering the new age by having e-giving.
Okay.
Oh, yes, we have that.
Which is new for us, but you had to hear. I mean, some of the people were like, you could tell they were cracking up over it. You know.
Giving. Okay.
Because some people just don't do that much online.
I know.
Right.
But when he announced it, he said, so now, we're going to have e-giving, and you can set it up. He said, I tried it yesterday, and it works perfectly fine. He said, so now you can donate online, and that way we can count on your support. And people, I heard people laughing. I don't know if it was a good laugh or a bad laugh. I'm not sure, but so
Tough to tell sometimes.
Well, that's because. Of course.
That's what Linda was asking for. That was her
That's
idea.
what I was asking for.
Yes. Exactly.
Put everything you have in the one collection because I need to be paid this week.
You know what, Linda? How sad? It's sad but true, isn't it?
I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that was a very funny story. I'm so sad I wasn't there. Because I would have just fallen off the bench. At that point.
Everybody just burst out laughing. My group was like doubled over.
And they could not sing the preparation song.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway.
I have one story to add.
Oh, good. Okay, here we go.
Actually, talking about money, and I might have said this before, but I'll never forget. Years ago, the cantor announced at the church I was working at the time, our hymn for the preparation of the gifts, "We have been sold."
Oh!
And it was very funny at the time.
Not so much anymore, though, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, I've heard we have been sold, we have been cold.
Yeah.
Ah, jeez. Well, can you tell, gang, we're all back.
Yeah.
This is what we've been waiting for a couple of weeks. But hopefully now, depending on when we record the show, we can get everybody back at the same time.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if we could just all the time. I'm just so happy that we got everybody back because we have become a little bit of a cohesive, crazy group.
Yes, we have.
And we feed off each other, which is sometimes good, sometimes not.
Yeah.
And I also enjoyed also the week that you had Allison on. It was I think you and her.
Hey, yeah, and Allison really needs some prayers right now. 2 weeks of her show, and she has had nothing but technical difficulties,
Boy.
which she is attributing to,
Could it be?
So I told her she needs to have this
Yeah,
little
yes.
routine so she can put it all in perspective. But she really needs prayers because they're trying to get the kinks out of the technical problems, and it's not all her setup; it's their network.
Oh,
so,
geez.
Yeah, she is real. She's done 2 weeks of good shows, but only maybe you've heard maybe 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah.
So if you got an extra spare one out there for Allison and her the Seeking Heart with Allison Gingras, really say a few because I've been dying to hear her, and every time I go to hear it, all I get is buzz.
Oh.
Wow.
I don't. It's been horrible.
That's frustrating, yeah.
It is frustrating.
Yeah.
So she could probably use some. We hope to have her back shortly. We also, I got to work on the Bish now that he's home. But it's gonna
Well, let him unpack first, okay?
Well, let's see. If you saw the picture on Facebook, he was on. He had everything strewn in the room, and right on top was a Patriots jersey.
Yay.
So
He's home.
let's see if we're all this happy next week.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, thanks, guys, for being back. Again, you can send us feedback at mondaymorningcatholic@gmail.com. You can use our comment boxes at mondaymorningcatholic.net. You can go to the very active Facebook page, facebook.com/mondaymorningcatholic. you can call the voice feedback line, 774-955-0659, just like Tiffany did. And if you let us, we will use it. We only use it if you say so. Okay? But, gang, I'm so happy to have you all back. Because I hate talking.
Good to be back.
I hate talking to myself.
Well,
do a good
thanks.
job,
I've
though.
been here.
Oh, please. Please. Yeah, that's true. Linda's been here with me most of the time.
Yeah, I haven't been talking
And
to you.
we're concluding at a good time because all I see on my screen is a big green blob.
Oh, not good. So
Okay.
I'm glad we're ending this. But thank you all again for joining us. I thank from Linda Reed, Nancy Smith, Steve Romano, myself, Joanne Mercier. Thank you for being here every week and making it fun for us to do this for you. God bless. Remember the folks at Right to Life this week where they'll be marching. And we will see you next week. Until then, ciao for now. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Tiffany.